Okay, hello everyone and welcome back to GRS PC F2, where today we are going to be racing at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona, Spain. So, as you may have seen, I said I've had some uh, technical difficulties. My whole game decided to just reset all the save files and corrupt everything. As we see George spinning around. Yeah, not ideal, considering the race was just about to start, but it's fine. Anyways, we have someone in the final sector, that's Mitch, but he's invalidated, so first person to complete a lap will be Callum Pearce in the Alfa Romeo. Please let me know if you can hear me. I don't know if I've unmuted myself. But yeah, first lap of the day is a 1:19.6 for the Alfa Romeo, and then following on, next to the line is Hakan with a 1:30.5, so probably a mistake in that lap. Carl Rutherhall goes to a 1:18.8. Then that's Owen, who would have invalidated. George, who spun, and then Michael Knight, who goes quickest on a 17.8. Right. We can now get on schedule as normal. Someone's just jumped up. That was Stan Lagrange in the Alfa Romeo. Also, please let me know what the stream's like. I'm hoping it's fine. It's telling me the audio stream bitrate 0, which I don't believe to be true. Anyways, Hugo Nilsson goes 10 thousandths faster than Michael, putting him up to provisional pole position after this first run. He will be followed by Jordan Bailey, who goes P6, as Hakan has had a collision with Michael Knight and got a 5-place grid penalty. I don't know how he's done that, but yeah. Adam Lapage goes 9th with a 1:54, so again, maybe the drivers are just doing 2 warm-up laps, a few of them, as I haven't seen that many spins, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I'm not going to be one to question it, as Michael takes the scenic route back to the pit lane. But it's a better start for him than last time out. Luckily for him, as a bit of commotion in the pit lane, it seems, with a few drivers all entering at the same time, as George improves his 1:54 and can start 1:35, but yeah. It's a grid penalty where you restart after quali, but what if it's someone's fault? That's my theory here. Re-lobby, okay. I'm pretty sure someone's had a grid penalty before or been disqualified, but you know what? I'm not on to question right now. I'm just trying to make sure my things are working. Also, Nathan, is the stream quality fine? Please do let me know. Anyways, Adam comes to the line with a 1:18.9, and well, there's some interesting times being posted at the moment. I just think that's the nature of this track right now. And maybe the tyres are absolutely freezing or something, as Ryan mates the curb, so he won't be improving, as George is 11 seconds up actually. Seems alright. But George goes to the pit lane. Okay. Next out on track is Lewis Pearce in the Aston Martin as he passes his teammate Michael. So we'll give a rundown of the track quickly through 1, 2 and then into the long turn of turn 3, and that concludes a pretty short sector. Into turn 4, you want to carry it in 4th and just hook the speed around, as Dean has been disqualified for going the wrong way. As we see Lewis Pearce here heading sort of up the hill, you could say here, and then into the fast right-hander onto the DRS straight here. You sort of want to avoid the little yellow sausage curb that there is on the inside, and then into the newly reprofiled corner, and then into a quick transition to a swing going right, and then this final little awkward bit where they could ideally remove this and just have it so you use the alternate layout where you can go right round, and then at the final corner, and it's a 118.2 for the Aston Martin. So that is a pretty decent lap, as we have Cole on a 2-minute lap time, same with Owen. I have a feeling my timing is glitched right now, but nevertheless, we move. Jordan, yeah, it's not saying if someone's on out lap, or does it just remove it when they get here? Yeah, it just removes the out lap as soon as they go into sector 3. There's probably a legal glitch, I can't lie, in the game after the patch. So I'll go and vote with Carl actually, who is on a lap. Oh, actually we'll go further through Michael. Michael's got a Ferrari in front of him. Is Lewis on another lap? No. This is so confusing because it's not telling me who's on a lap and who isn't, which is definitely not annoying, I can tell you that. So I don't know if all of these guys are on 8 laps. Carl doesn't look to be on an 8 lap as he's on a 1:04 middle sector. And also, forgot to mention we got the new yellow Ferrari spinning around. But yeah, interesting enough to note. The Ferrari is now slightly different as of today, as they released a patch changing it slightly. That's not Mitch, that's a Williams. Is it Carl? Oh, it's Jordan then. Jordan jumps all the way to 3rd actually. The final corner, and an 18.1, which is a nice time. Hakan improves by 9 seconds, but doesn't improve his position, which you don't get to say that very often. Okay, that's an Alpine. Hugo to the line, starting his lap, apparently. So we'll have Standard Orange instead. He goes to P7. Nice. This is not confusing at all, with this being broken. Adam, are you on a lap or are you on an 8 lap? You are on an 8 lap. George to the line, 13 seconds off. It is an improvement, and that's P8 for the Red Bull. At least we've got someone getting a lap in, as Cole heads to the pit lane. Entering that nicely. And anyways, let's have a look at this new Ferrari. So it's the yellow livery from Monza. Looks quite nice in game, to be fair, as Ryan goes P11 in the Ferrari. I have no clue what the special livery was for. I didn't look into it too much. If someone could let me know, it'd be interesting. Oh, that's a bit of a spin. Probably the tyres overheating slightly, as Hugo is going to the pit lane. And that's going to the pit. Adam was on a lap actually, so let's see how the Mercedes is getting on. Is at the final corner. He gets a bit on that curb, and unfortunately that's the end of that lap for him. And he actually improved with that. So that would have been an absolute monster of a lap, potentially. Definitely challenging near the top, as well, he lost all speed, so he would have lost a significant amount of time. As that was Lewis. I don't know if he's starting a lap or whatnot. I think Jordan's just finishing a lap, half a tenth up at the moment. And Oh, that's a bit of a spin. He's caught himself on the curb and, well, nicely places him in the pit lane. Not sure if that's exactly where he was going for. Anyways, let's go on board with Michael Knight for a lap here. Currently in second, 10 thousandths behind Hugo Nilsson. Or I could just say 100th. That would be way easier. We're braking just at that weird grey shading almost, shall we say. And then hooking it, trying not to run it too wide. And across the sector 1 split, that is a 7 thousandths improvement and a purple sector 1. Nice white line, braking just before the 50-metre board. And hooking it through the corner very nicely. Good exit using a lot of the curb. And you sort of want to avoid the curbs here because, well, they've got little sausage curbs which can unsettle the car. Keep it mostly away from the inside curb there, carry a lot of speed through. Brake just after the 100-metre board. And that's a 2/10 improvement so far, heading into sector 3. And he's got no traffic ahead of him, so he just keeps it going. It's looking like a good lap, and potentially provisional pole position with 4 minutes to go in the session. As Michael now up to the line. What time is it going to be? It's a 17.6 and puts him on provisional pole. Very nice lap there from the Aston Martin. And I think he'll be quite happy with that. As we have Cole, 2/10 up at the moment on an 18.8. And well, let's see how the Williams can do. Manages to carry it through there nicely. A little bit of a lift and keeping it in 6th, whereas Michael took that corner in 7th. Braking just after the 100-metre board, and that's a half a second improvement from the reserve driver in the Williams today, which is good to see. And it definitely could move up towards the top 3 here potentially, depending on how much time he's spent in the final sector. A little bit wider at the final corner, but that's not going to affect him too much. And up to the line, it's a 17.9 and 3rd place. Very nice from the Williams, as I've also seen Mitch has jumped to 7th with a 1:19.0. And that's George. George seems to be struggling. He's going back to the pit lane and can probably just get in an 8 for one more run. Spain is a relatively short circuit. There's an Alpine backwards. I think that's Mitch, but I don't know. Jordan, 1:21 on the last lap, and he's got plenty of battery, so it looks like he's pushing here. Let's see how he can do on this lap, and can he make a challenge for pole position here? Currently about half a second behind, as through sector 1 was quite nice, 25 thousandths down. However, sector 1 isn't particularly somewhere you'll find a lot of your time. And Jordan's taking much higher gears here. Something a bit more reminiscent of how I would drive. There's a quick short shift up to 5th there. Letting off massively through that corner. And it's a 3/10 improvement here for the Williams. But that's not enough yet, so he's going to need to find a bit more time in this final sector. As he's not going to have time for another cool down lap and to be able to recharge and go again. So this is probably going to be his final run, and he heads a bit deep into the chicane there, keeping it in 4th. And then on the rubber end to the line here, who is it going to be? It's going to be a 17.8 and puts him 3rd, and that's unfortunately going to be his last lap of the session there. As Callum Pearce heads to the pit lane, he's invalidated. And then we have the Ferrari of Owen James. And right into the line. It's only a 1/10 improvement, so from being near the front last week, the Ferrari has currently sitting in P11 this week, as Hugo Sonia done a 5-minute outlap. Well done, game. Guys, we have Ryan finishing up his life. It looks like he's had a spin somewhere as he's not gained any time. Some kind of Hakan spins right in there. Lewis Pierce also starting a lap here in the Aston Martin. I don't know. Hugo Nilsson's the furthest through the lap actually, and is a 10th down in sector 1. As we have a few cars in the final sector. There's a Ferrari awkwardly gets out of the way, but he did get out of the way at least. As that's the checker flag to end the session now out. So this is the final run for everyone as Hugo runs a little bit wide, and that's unfortunately going to end his run for pole position today. However, Lewis Pierce in the Aston Martin still going. And what can he say? Currently sitting in 5th. And will he be able to make a push here for pole position? As it's a almost 4/10 improvement from the Aston Martin. And could this potentially be a full Aston Martin front row here? As Lewis is doing very well here. Just got the final chicane. Doesn't go deep. Manages to get it nicely through there. And this is looking like a very strong lap as Lewis now heads round to the line. And it's a 17.8 and does put him second by 4 thousandths of a second. What about Michael? Goes even quicker. Still on a 17.6, but it's a faster 17.6 as Adam. We know he had time to find in the final sector. Goes P6. Well, that's pretty close between the top 6 there. Half a second separating them. As that leads us nicely to the race. And well, a bit of a different qualifying session actually. The order slightly shaken up, but I'm sure it's going to produce an interesting race with the front of the grid that close. And well, I'm interested to see how this is going to go as Hakan gets a 5-place grid penalty, but was starting from pretty much the back anyways. So, Michael Knight takes pole position and it's a full Aston Martin front row lockout. As Hugo Nilsson follows behind in 3rd with Jordan Bailey 4th, followed by his teammate for today in the Williams, Carl Rutherhall. Adam Lapidge takes 6th and finishes off the 3rd row, followed by, I don't know, because it's gone off my screen. Anyways, I'm going to quickly prepare in case we are still not using formation laps. I don't think we are. I think it's still broken, unfortunately. Actually, I can quickly have a look now because why not? Formation laps back. I'll not check that here. Rules and flags. No, they're not back. Okay. I completely forgot. So, we are about to get underway here at Spain, as it's going to be an Aston Martin front row lockout here as we head to 5 red lights and a long hold, and there we are away here in Spain as Michael Knight gets initially the better launch. Adam's going onto the grass to try and make moves off of the start, and they're heading about like 3 white behind down towards turn 1. As the Alpine of Mitch has had a great start and is all the way up into 4th already, but he's got a bit white there and that opens him up to the Red Bull of George in the background. There has been a bit of contact. I think that's Adam Lapidge and the 2 Williams actually coming together, I think. As Mitch here side by side with Callum, and that's an early VSC. Is that a VSC? I think it is. Anyways, I can get my stuff up there. Let's take a quick gander at the tyres. As the front 3 currently all on hards alongside Mitch, Jordan and Adam. So a lot of the front runners going for hards. George on mediums already up to 4th. Callum Deanan from the back of the grid is 7th. And the 2 Ferraris also on mediums. Carl on mediums, staying on mediums, and then Hakan's gone for softs. So some very varied strategies here. as Ryan's got a penalty for a collision with Owen. Bit of war between teammates there. They're not going to be, I don't think they're going to be too happy with that. As we'll probably be getting underway shortly again. As just Hugo weaving to keep a bit of temperatures in the tyres. As Cole goes to the pits, potentially with damage early on here, unfortunately, for the Williams, as we are back underway, and Hugo's got a great restart right on the back of Michael here. And Michael's going to be able to defend his lead for now, as he did on lap 1, with a good launch initially off the grid. However, Hugo's going to sit close with him, as Dean also looking for a move here on Callum Pearce, and a little tap in the back there, actually. The AlphaTauri did. But it doesn't look like there's going to be damage as Callum swoops back in front on the outside line, carried loads more speed and defensive position for now. As further forward, George on his mediums is looking to make moves on Lewis Pierce, as he's going to go for the move into turn 10, I believe the newly reprofiled corner is. And he's managed to get that move done. Meanwhile, just at the front here, Michael still just defending. However, DRS will be enabled next lap, so be a bit more of a fight going on. As George is probably looking to make the most of starting on the mediums here, and has done that so far. Sets the fastest lap to follow as Jordan gets past Ryan, who has headed to the pit lane early on here, potentially with damage also, as Mitch and Dean fighting, and there's a bit of contact there, and that's both of them rained, and Callum's had to take avoiding action onto the gravel. That's not ideal. There's probably going to be a report somewhere in that, I'm going to be honest, as Michael doing a very good job here, almost breaking out of the DRS of Hugo actually. Interestingly enough, as the Alpine gained a bit there and is just trying to keep up to Michael at the moment. And George is also struggling to keep into the DRS here, but Hugo's lights flashing, so I think he's used a lot of his battery. No, he hasn't, he's still got 60%, actually more than Michael at the moment. So again, somewhat weird with the game more than likely, as a lot of the drivers already looking to recover their way through the grid early on here, as we've been very separated early on, as Hugo gets a go with the DRS here. As we know, DRS isn't as powerful this year, and Michael seems to have a bullet in the straight line, and oh, that's a bit late on the brakes there, and that spun Michael Rained with Hugo. And that's our two front runners already gone to the back, and there's going to be some questions asked about that, as I think Hugo's got damage, as Michael, with the hot tyres more than likely, spun again, and Hakan's also rained at that corner. That's, I think, 4 or 5 spins at that corner very early on here, actually. Oh my, yeah, that's one way to describe it. Two front runners rained early on, as I think Mitch has spun again, unfortunately. And well, Hugo's on the back of Callum, but well, that was a bit questionable into turn 1, shall we say. As Mitch drops down another position, yeah, his tyres are gone. As George currently leads the way, Lewis Pierce isn't letting him get away though. And well, I think everyone's going to be praying for a safety car, shall we say, as a lot of people have struggled early on this race, as Hugo Nilsson does get past Callum Pearce. And the later braking works for him this time, mate, shall we say, as Callum not looking to make a move back fast and probably just sitting behind Hugo at the moment, as it seems like Hugo has run a little wide, probably just on the line though, so he would have got away with that. And, well, speaking of people who are going to have to do a comeback drive now, we got Jordan, who's already back up to 5th. And, well, Adam and Michael are going to be trying to storm their way back up to the front quickly, as a fight could be commencing shortly between George and Lewis, as George's rear just looks so unstable there, as we've got 2 spinners at 2 consecutive corners of Hakan and I believe Owen or Ryan, I don't know, it was one of the Ferraris. Is Hakan's round again, and I have a feeling that some people may have left their tyre pressures a bit too high. As George is completely out of battery now. Looking further down, Jordan Bailey's catching up to Callum. And Dinan's not too far behind either in the AlphaTauri. Is another Ferrari spinning? I think that's Owen again. As Mitch is now going to be hot on his tail on lap 6 of this race, as Lewis is getting very close here to the back of George, who had a little bit of a snap-on exit there, and that's going to open Lewis up, as George taking a very wide line through that corner, and that might open Lewis up here to go for the move, as Hugo's almost got onto the back of these guys, as George just seems to be really struggling with traction here early on. Yeah, he's just having moments all over the place, and Hugo's really caught up here. And yeah, the Red Bull's got absolutely no traction. And Hugo's almost pushing Lewis out the final corner, so what's going to happen on this straight, we don't know, but I'm sure something's going to happen, as Lewis has got an absolute bullet just like his teammate. Hugo also pulls out, but he's not going to be able to get in for the move, as he's had a little bit of a moment there and he's clipped the inside curb, and that's Hugo reigned. As that throws Callum up to 3rd, who's currently defending from Jordan Bailey. As the mediums look like they're absolutely dying after about 3 laps here, which is an interesting philosophy, shall we say, as fortunately for Hakan, he looks to be beaching the gravel there, but he is now a lap down on lap 7 of this race, as Owen has spun out the final corner. As Callum's actually catching these front 2 here at the moment in the Alfa Romeo. He's right on the edge of DRS and driving well at the moment. As that's an AlphaTauri around Finastine, and only a minor spin as Jordan all over the place through the final corner there. So this track surface is interesting enough, shall we say, as Michael has also caught up to Adam. We know the bullet he's got, but we know Adam also normally runs a very low downforce setup. As let's see how much of an indent Michael can make. He's not even using a battery, and he's taking a fair bit there as George loses out to Callum, and Owen has retired from the session, and that's a safety car. Oh, that was close. Callum's slowing down quite a lot there, and oh no. Please don't say we got a Delta glitch. I think we've got a Delta glitch. We've definitely got a Delta glitch. Yeah, we've got a Delta glitch. Ah, Codemasters. What an amazing game you have produced. Is people... I'll see with Carl actually. Is he still going slow through that section of the track? He's definitely having to back off a lot. That's got close. Ryan's got a drive through for speeding under safety car. While he was trying to avoid the safety car that was trying to drive into him, it looked like. Seems like it's all fixed now. I think. Maybe the Delta Exchange is weird. Lewis doesn't pit, George does. Callum stays out on the mediums, so maybe he's trying something a bit different. Stian also stays out. Adam goes in off of hards, and well, that was right on the line, but still technically legal here. Is that Michael in? No, Michael's lying. That's just Adam teleporting or something. I don't know. This game. The absolute sights that you can see is, at the moment, we have a 1-2 of people with the last name Pierce, interestingly enough. Are they related? I don't think so, ironically. But Lewis and Callum have had a good start to this race and currently sit first and second, which gives us a good time to look at position changes. So, Callum's actually up 8 from 10th on the grid. Dinan's also up 8 from 13th on the grid. Then Cole down 5, Michael down 5, but that's due to contact and or spins. But they are, well, they've got a chance to get back in the fight here, which I'm sure they'll be happy about. And hopefully we can resume as per usual here. Is a random train of 3 cars? I don't know. Oh, that's Hakan's that car. Mitch fits for softs. He's just about going to make it, I think, ahead of the safety car. Unless the safety car decides to do some interesting stuff. As Callum actually pits now. So maybe he reconsiders his strategy choice and decided to pit. I assume he's going for hards. That would make most sense to me. Yeah, hard tyres. So he's going to try go to the end, which I don't think will be an issue for him here. As well, he's not going to have to pit again. Same with George. So if there's not another safety car, they're in a very good position here. Adam's also going to try and extend the mediums 23 laps, which I'm interested to see how that's going to go for him. As everyone just making pit stops and check in. I need to... yeah. Let me run with a keybind. That's lap data. What's it called? Gap. Would that be G? Ah, okay. Fastest lap of the race so far is Hugo Nilsson with a 1:21.7. Then you have Michael and Jordan with a 21.9 respectively. Just behind them is Stain, who's had a very quiet race. He's just been moving up the grid and is currently 6th at the moment for the Alfa Romeo. And then we have George with the fastest lap of a 22.4. Callum, yeah, everyone's sort of mostly within that 1 second range, depending on what tyres they started on. As, of course, you get 8.4 fastest lap here. Here you don't have to be in the top 10, you just have to finish the race, which, I mean, the fastest lap's normally right at the end anyway, so yeah. Anyways, continuing on with this race, shortly, I hope. Mitch is still quite far behind. But at some point the safety car does like to just go in, shall we say, that's just what this game does. It's this game. Like I've been saying the whole time this race, this game makes no sense. As I'm interested to see the strategy of Dunand and Stain actually, as they've stayed out on their older mediums. So are they trying to extend this to go for softs, is my theory. I don't know if they're going to try that, but if they do, fair dues to them. I'm interested to see how it goes. Is we have a clear mix of strategies here. And I think Mitch might just about catch. But I think we'll be restarting this lap regardless anyway. So, Aston Martin safety car, are we going to be going in this lap? Yes we are, and it's absolutely flooring it away. So, Lewis is going to slow down the pack here, and then we will be ready to restart once again in this race. Well, once again, I said first safety car, so not once again. We will be ready to restart, as Lewis Pierce is just waiting. The safety car's still only just round the corner, so that needs to hurry up a bit. As the Aston Martin more than likely will go out of the chicane, trying to set up a wider line. And he's actually going to take this ring to the line, it seems. As he's just waiting and goes just at the DRS board there, pretty much. And has managed to get himself a gap that will keep him safe. As Adam's got a great restart there and is already up into 6th. Carl's also got a good restart and up into 8th. So there's a bit of contact between Adam and Michael there, as Adam drops down back into 7th, and everyone's just filtering through on this restart. Someone's gone wide. I'm not sure who that is. That's Mitch spinning, unfortunately for him. As at the front, nothing particularly changing just yet, but you can sure bet it well as Michael has, well, would have had Adam just behind him, who looked to have a great restart, but then Adam did make contact with the back of the Aston Martin. As Jordan is almost pushing Lewis through there, and well, all of these drivers are on the same strategy, so they're definitely going to be jostling for position here. As Jordan so close to the back of the Aston Martin, but he had a little bit of a moment there. But he's still going to deploy the battery to try and go for a move, as someone who is going for a move is Dinand in the AlphaTauri. And he moves up into the podium places as Jordan pulls to the outside, looking for a potential move, but doesn't go for it. As potentially on the outside here, is he going to try and hang it round there, as George and Adam have had a collision, it looks to be, as they are both round just after turn 2 there. As Jordan just looking for any gap to try and get past Lewis here, but he can't find it at the moment, as the Williams driver is just gonna have to wait for DRS here, I reckon, to be able to get a move. As Dinand still actually looks to be very pacey on those mediums, so they're clearly not dying off for him, and suggests the fact that he may be able to try a medium to soft strategy, which would be interesting, but I think the tyres would be absolutely dying by the end of that. As Jordan here not really getting anything, saving his battery, and we'll just wait his time for now. As Michael manages to get past Hugo and is up into 4th place here. And he's doing really well to come back through the grid. And his next target is the AlphaTauri of Dinand there. As yellow flags, that is bitch. Anyways, on that 14 of this race, approaching the mid phase, let us know who you think's going to win, as this could go pretty much any way at the moment, as there's plenty of people in the fight here, as Jordan has got DRS now, and he's deploying the battery. He's going to go to the outside, as we get a pretty dull camera angle for that. But Jordan has made the move for the lead of the race now, and will now lead in the Williams, as I'm sure Lewis isn't going to let him get away too quickly. As he's already managed to get 7.5 tenths there at the final corner, as we've got a bit of a DRS train here of 5 cars. As Michael looking potentially for a move on the AlphaTauri, but he's just too far back to push an attack there. So excuse me momentarily. Sorry, I just needed a drink of water. Please let me know if you can hear me again. My mouth was going very dry. Anyways, enough about me. I'm back to the action, as Dina may be the next car past Lewis, who's just slipping out of the DRS range of Jordan Bailey here. As the 4 behind are sticking right to the back of him at the moment, as Hugo potentially look for a move there on Michael, which is interesting, but didn't go for it, and has potentially retracted the send it policy from earlier this race, as the end here is more than likely going to get a move done using the battery, and now with the DRS the AlphaTauri is closing and closing on the Aston Martin here. Is he going to move up into second place? He is, and that now allows him to chase after Jordan, who's about 1.5 seconds up the road at the moment. As Lewis and Michael, be interesting to see what the teammates are going to do here, as well, we haven't seen them close on track too often. However, let's see, are they going to deploy any team order policies here, or are they going to just fight it out on the track, as Michael runs wide there, and that's opened him up to Hugo in the Alpine. As Michael on the outside, he's just going to hang it round. Hugo's going to try get up the inside there. However, Michael looks to be staying in front, but Hugo swoops it round the outside, as it's so close between the two of them, but Hugo comes out on top, as that allows him up into 4th place, and now he gets a chance to get past Lewis here in the Aston Martin with DRS, so this could be 2 overtakes in 1 lap for the Alpine, and I think it is going to be, as Hugo gets through into 3rd place, pulls back in front, and off he goes in the Alpine. And Michael carrying loads of speed there. Is he going to have a look at a move on his teammate here to the inside? And it looks like Lewis is just going to let him through there, and allow Michael to go and chase after the cars in front. As I think Lewis is just going to do his best to stick with his teammate here, who actually has a lack of battery. So it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to go about fighting this one, as he doesn't have the resources in the battery to do it, but definitely has the pace. So we'll see how this one's going to play out for him, as Hakan has retired from the session there, out of the final corner, and so has Mitch as well. And that's a safety car. Oh, that's not legal. What's happened there? Michael spun. Oh, that's also not legal. There's some questionable pit entry tactics there. And potentially some penalties coming the way of some drivers, as we have 15 laps left to go here. And our second safety car of the race. So we get to see how this is going to pan out now, as the Aston Martins have double stacked and unfortunately for them dropped to 7th and 9th for now. So they're going to have to try and remake their way back through the field, as leading this race is now Jordan Bailey, who didn't make the pit lane and didn't enter it illegally either by just smashing it straight over the the white line. Or by instead of saying straight over the white line, you could just say completely disregarded the normal pit entry. As you'd think Jordan's probably going to pit now. As yes, he is. And that's how you enter the pits. Well done to Jordan. What about Callum? Is Callum going to pit? As he's got Adam right behind him under safety car. Adam's decided to pit. So that means Callum is going to lead this race, I believe. And he's now got a lot of work to do to defend. He's got George as a barrier to these guys. And Adam's gone for softs. It's just... honestly, does it surprise me? No. I'm not surprised at all. Anyways, let's see. Hugo has come out in 4th, Dean on 5th. Adam's going to slot in 6th. Lewis Pierce will be 7th, Carl 8th, Michael 9th, and then Stain 10th, and Ryan in 11th. As hopefully we're not going to have to wait too long for a restart, as the last safety car went literally the maximum amount of laps it could have. So a positive would be if we restart a bit quicker, but we still have a few drivers left to catch, so we'll see how that goes. As I'm interested to see how Callum fares, as this is his first time restarting a race this season. You can fact check me on that if you want. As he's got George to provide one layer of defence behind until you've got all the drivers who have just pitted. Now, their tyres aren't going to be an issue with making it to the end, but they are going to be fairly slow compared to everyone else, unfortunately. As we have double figures for viewers on the stream, so welcome everyone. Let us know in the chat who you think is going to win at this rate, with 14 laps left. And, well, to be fair, there's all chance of another safety car. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if there will be one. But you never know. And we'll see. Sure, it's going to be quite interesting to finish this race off. As well, there's a wide variety of strategies, shall we say, amongst the drivers here. And that's sure going to create some interesting scenarios, as that's a bit of lag. At least it's not the safety car teleporting. That would be bad. Anyways, if you just excuse me one moment again. Okay, sorry, my mic just completely disconnected there. We will be back on the stream in about 2 seconds. Sorry. So, are we restarting this lap? Yes, we are. So, Callum gets to restart us here as... Hopefully you can hear me again. And at the final corner, he's going to go now. Jordan Bailey has spun, and someone else has gone as well. I mean, that's Dinand. That's two drivers spinning off the restart, and that gives Callum and George a good gap here. George has got a great run on Callum, and he's going to send it down the inside and take the lead of this race. However, he's going to have the rest of the pack not too far behind here, and well, they're going to be on a race against time to catch up, but I mean, they ain't got too far to go. Callum actually retakes the lead, I didn't even see that. And well, I'm not sure what's happened. I know he's regained the lead, but fair enough, honestly. As George now has to remake his way past us. Everyone else behind us already caught them. And that's just a pair of the fresh tyres, it seems. As well, Adam on those softs is going to be absolutely flying here. As George dives it down the inside and retakes the lead again, but Callum's not going to give up the fight here, and they're going to go side by side through this corner, and it's very tight between the two of them. Hugo's now going to try to get involved in this as he heads down the inside. He's going to have to hold it on the outside, but George just brakes later and keeps the position for now as Hugo gets a great run out the final corner onto the start-finish straight. And he's going to be side by side with George all the way down towards turn 1, but just backs out there. As they've got an absolute train of cars here. The front 7 drivers all involved in this. As you guys now looking to have a go on George. Again, he looks to the inside. And actually gets a great exit out the corner on the pair a lot earlier. And is that going to be the move? George is still going to try and fight this one. As he holds to the inside, but I don't think it's going to work as Adam's now trying to get past as well. On the inside, uses a bit of the sausage curve actually, but he has taken the position and moves up into third as these two are now chasing right after Callum. And well, I've got Adam just behind. Still trying to make the most out of those fresh softs actually, as Lewis has jumped past Carl, and it looks like George has spun unfortunately and has retired from the session. Not sure if that was all too necessary. It's our first 3-second time penalty if the race goes to Michael Knight. And I didn't think it would take all the way to lap 23 for that, but fair enough to everyone. As Callum is defending for his life here at the front. Well, you know what? Fair play to him. He's doing a fine job at doing so at the moment. As the front 3 do have a bit of a gap to Lewis, who currently sits 4th. And well, they've got about 2 attempts to catch to get back into the DRS here, as Callum's hards are not going to be feeling great at all, especially with these drivers still on pretty fresh tyres behind, so it's going to be pretty difficult. As Hugo here trying to get a better run out the corner. Can he get alongside the Alfa Romeo? No, Callum defends well into the corner. Hugo's going to try and just get a better exit, but just can't get alongside the Alfa Romeo at the moment, as he's just parking his car in all the right places to defend. However, the only problem for him now is the DRS straight, which could prove to be an issue, definitely, as Hugo's going to try here in the DRS and manages to get past up into the lead of this race, as Callum tried his best to defend there, and no, that's Callum reigned, and after some great defending, that's so unfortunate for the Alfa Romeo driver, who was putting in a great race there. However, unfortunately, he's going to drop all the way down to 6th, and well, that's unfortunate for him, as Adam now has a second to catch up to Hugo, who could close the lead of the championship, which is currently 10 points, up to Lewis Pearce here. As Michael Knight has got past Carl there. Maybe a mistake from the Williams, as that seems like a very interesting place to overtake. But once again, we see the Aston Martins next to each other, not for the first time this race, as Adam sets a purple middle sector, and maybe he's got some pace in that Mercedes here. Just 7.5 tenths behind, as he's lagging all over the place. Which I would not want to be Hugo right now with a teleporting Mercedes behind me. Anyways, in the battle for third, we have Lewis, Michael and Carl. Michael in the DRS here. Lewis pulls over to defend the inside, but he's, yeah, pretty helpless to defend. More than likely just letting his teammate through there, like we saw earlier on in the race, as Callum loses out to Dinan now, unfortunately, and after what potentially looked like a drive good enough for a podium, as he's putting in a great effort there, as Jordan's going for a an interesting move here. He's going to try on the outside. Can he hang it round there? And he can. And that's now P7 for the Williams. And he continues his charge to try and get back up. However, at the moment it looks like the front two are going to stay as the front two with 8 laps to go here. But Michael hasn't had too much clean air to get some running in, so let's see what his pace is like here. As Adam just always seems to be a little too far behind out of the final corner, and that's going to protect Hugo Fenevers. That's a spin for Callum once again, unfortunately, and from high to low is all I can say for him, unfortunately. Adam doesn't look to be able to close in here, as Michael seems way more confident there through turn 3. And seems to be one of the places where he gains a lot of time. However, he's going to have to get his foot down here. But one thing he does have to his advantage over Adam is that Adam's softs are going to be pretty horrible to drive on by the end of this race. As we see the Williams of Carl Rutherhall closing up to the back of Lewis Pearce here. However, it doesn't look like he's going to have a movers at the moment. Jordan Bailey closing into these guys slowly, as he has made his way past the AlphaTauri of Dean and Van Werkum, as the gap that was above 4 seconds is now only 3.3, and well, he's definitely on the charge, and by the end of the race could be in the fight for what will more than likely be 4th place, however potentially a podium. So you never know what could happen here, as Michael's still not making too many indents into the front two, as the gap has remained fairly similar. As I say that, he takes 4 attempts out of them, fair enough to him. As I'm interested to see how Adam's pace is going to fare here on these softs. But at the moment, no massive signs of wear causing issues yet. And definitely put yet in quotation marks, as so with 6 laps to go, they're going to be 14 laps old by the end, so They're definitely going to be past their prime as Jordan has closed that gap once again here by about 7-8 tenths this lap once more, and well, he's on his way, and that's a message he's sending to them. Not sure if Carl's going to be too focused on that or more focused on the fact that he's still fighting with Lewis Pierce at the moment. However, he's slowly dropping out the DRS, and someone else who's slowly dropping out the DRS is Adam, who is now 1.2 seconds behind Hugo at the front. As he's going to have to use the little bit of battery he's got left to try and stick with him, but I don't think he's going to get DRS on this occasion. And the rear wing is not open on the Mercedes, so he's unfortunately been dropped as Carl runs a little bit wide, and that's going to help Jordan close even more here, as that gap is almost down to a second. So the Williams is doing a staggering job here as he's got a purple middle sector. However, he can have the pace to gain all the time he needs. However, it's all down to can he make the overtakes out on track here, which is the last question for what he's going to have to do, as Adam has sort of stuck with Hugo here, but it's not really looking to be able to make much of a challenge here, as well, for Michael at the moment, he's sort of in no man's land in third after getting past his teammate. And, well, he may get to fight Adam by the end of the race if his tyres die off that much, but they seem to be working just fine for him at the moment. As next time we cross the lap, it'll be 4 laps to go. Next time we cross the line, it'll be 4 laps to go, I should say. One of the battles we might be seeing on track is the two Williams here, as Jordan not close as much this lap, however, is now within the DRS range of his teammate, and the final sector is where he's been gaining most of his time, and he's just absolutely sent over one of the curbs there, was not going to particularly help him too much. With the nature of those curbs, as Jordan does have DRS, but he's not close enough on this occasion, so he's just going to have to be patient. However, Carl might also have DRS soon, as he's catching back up to Lewis, so he might have a saving grace to defend with, as Michael has closed that gap once again down to 3.4 seconds. So we'll see if he's going to be able to get any closer, as that's Dinand spinning in the AlphaTauri, but I don't think he's going to lose any places from that, as Adam is doing a great job at the moment of just sticking in the DRS range of Hugo. And if he keeps this up, then there's a good chance he may well win the race on post-race penalties, actually. As he's just dropped out of DRS there, and that's going to give Michael a bit of a boost to go and chase after the Mercedes now, as he's not got any DRS to drag, he's not got Hugo to drag him along anymore. As back in the fight for fourth, Jordan unfortunately has no battery to make a challenge on Carl, but Carl's going to get very close to the back of the Aston Martin of Lewis here, but just not able to be close enough to make a move there. However, I'm sure this battle's going to unfold more and more across these final 3 laps here, as Adam's tyres are dying now, and Michael's coming at him at some pace here, as the Aston Martin's just pushing everything on the car to try and catch up. As focusing on this battle for fourth. Jordan Bailey right to the back of Carl, but Carl's going to be able to defend with the DRS here as Jordan's using the little bit of battery he's got to try and send the move. However, Carl has to take a defensive line to defend, but, well, obviously he takes a defensive line to defend. I don't know why I said that, but anyways, I have a feeling we might see some action between these drivers on the main straight. There was just 2 laps to go in this race. It's essentially time to go for these drivers. They need to get a move on there, and Carl is doing just that in the DRS here of Lewis. He's going to pull to the outside, and is Jordan going to be able to follow through? No, not quite, as Carl moves up into 4th place, and well, there he's going to be the one doing the defending from Lewis, who's not going to give this one up lightly, as all the way up here, Michael is now just 1.3 seconds behind Adam, so that might get interesting onto the final lap, as Jordan just 2/10 behind Lewis, gets a better run out the corner than the Aston Martin. Is he going to be able to get the move done? Lewis still has DRS, so he's going to be able to defend. Jordan just trying to weave into any gap and try and get past the Aston Martin, but he's not going to be able to do it. Double Williams podium, come on. I don't think so. Michael's 3-second penalty is just going to keep him in front for now, I think, because he's in clean air and he's going to have a go at Adam here. He doesn't have the battery to do it, but he's still going to try with the DRS here. Can he get past the Mercedes? He's going to try. Adam's going to hang it in there, as Michael's just trying to get in front, and he's managed to do so there. As back here, Jordan is trying to get past his teammate. Lewis managed to get back up into 4th place, as Carl's gone way off the track there. And that's going to allow Jordan up the inside into this corner. You'd think there's a bit of contact between them, and they're just fighting very hard over that 5th place, and that's going to allow Lewis to get away. But it also might allow Lewis to catch up to Adam here, as Adam's just going to scrape DRS there. And well, that's going to be I think the end of the action here, as all the gaps sort of just spreading themselves out. Ironically, I thought we are going to have a very grandstand finishes. Oh, Adam's off. And, well, there goes Adam. And, well, that's interesting. Has he got a puncture? I think he might have a puncture. Yeah, he has. He's got a puncture here, and he's got Cole just in front. Has he got no fuel? I think he's got a puncture. And those softs just didn't quite last it long enough for him, and well, he's going to come across the line in 6th. Well, that was a strange ending to the race. Hugo takes a win here. Michael 2nd, with definitely some penalties coming for, I believe, Hugo. Jordan finishes 3rd. Lewis Pierce 4th. Carl Reuter Hall 5th. Adam Lapidge 6th. Dylan van Workum 7th, I want to say. Ryan Ives 8th. Anyways, that is going to conclude this race. As the driver of the day vote, there was a poll. Didn't even see that. I assume Nathan put that at some point. He put Hugo, Adam. I think he started it a bit early, clearly, as well. I definitely would have put Jordan in there as well for his drive at the end. But anyways, That's going to conclude this race here in Spain. I think I just got the race director. Did I? I don't know. Anyways, moving on with that. Well, where will we be heading next week? I don't know. Looking at the standings after that, Hugo takes the lead of the championship, maybe. Let's have a quick review on that. Yes, he just about will, and well, that opens up the championship fight more and more between Hugo and Lewis here. As who else will gain places? I don't know. I really don't know. So that is going to end the stream off. Next week we will be potentially heading to Austria. But hopefully you have enjoyed this race. Be sure to join us again next week, like I said, for Austria, and also tomorrow you will be able to watch the PC F1 race if you would like. So, yeah. Thank you all for watching.